hear that? That's real music. That's real music. That's the new album from Mint Condition, by the way. Go get it. Music at the Speed of Life. Excellent. Earl Harville back with you yet again. Today I decided I would talk a little bit about my influences and what, who has inspired my music. The question I've been asked a few times, who do I think I sound like? And that's a hard question for me to answer because I don't know exactly who I sound like. But I do know who has influenced me, so I decided I would kind of just let you know a little bit about the people who have influenced me as a singer, as a keyboard player, and as a writer. Anyone who knows me, and knows me well, knows that Prince is probably the single biggest musical influence as a singular artist for me. I mean, Prince is just, he is a true genius, and that's a word that I don't like to use too loosely, but I think Prince has proven himself to be a true genius in music. He's a master of, multiple instruments. As a keyboard player, of course, coming up, hearing, the innovative things he was doing with those Oberheim synthesizers, just really formed, it definitely formed what I like in terms of textures and timbres, in terms of the stuff that he was playing, he was doing with those keyboard things. And he's a wonderful pianist. And just the grooves, man, this man can groove like nobody's business. Funky, funky, funky. A brilliant rock player, a brilliant funk player, a blues player, can just do it all. And so it's hard not to be influenced by that kind of brilliance. I didn't really want to like Prince, to be perfectly honest. I thought he was weird. And but it just kind of, the music wore me down. And by the time the Controversy album came out, which was his 4th record, you just kind of, resistance was futile. It wasn't worth trying to fight it. He just took over. And then 1999 hit. In 1982, the release of the 1999 album, that just did it for me. And I remember distinctly when Little Red Corvette was released as the 2nd single. It was a done deal. It was because of that song, Little Red Corvette, that I realized that I wanted to be a musician. So, of course, Prince to this day is one of the most singular, is one of the most important artists to come along for me personally. And the musicians who have played with him have been just so incredible. And 2 people in particular who have played in his band, Wendy and Lisa, have been huge influences on me. Oh, by the way, I'm going to see Prince on Tuesday, September 25th. Yes. Anywho, Wendy and Lisa, incredible. Wendy Melvoin and Lisa Coleman, incredible writers, talented players. They were the 2 musicians who Prince really opened up his creative space to, and that's rare. Prince has always had great band members, and they really delivered for him on stage. But in the studio, it was very rare for him to allow other people, to have that kind of major creative space. And Wendy and Lisa were 2 people that he trusted to do that, and they helped push him so that he wouldn't get stuck in the same musical rut. Some people say they think that when Wendy and Lisa left, there was definitely a change in his creative level, that he was never the same again on a certain level in terms of pushing boundaries musically. But Wendy and Lisa, I mean, listen to the albums. Every one of their albums is incredible pieces of music. They're able to go from funky stuff to some really cool pop alternative stuff, some great rock stuff. You hear some jazz influences there. The classical influences of Lisa are there. These ladies have gone on to be very successful composers for film and television. Just masterful musicians, very intelligent musicians. They aren't musical athletes in the way that some of his other players have been. But man, in terms of musical intelligence and chord structures and all that kind of thing, just you can't beat Wendy and Lisa. Luther Vandross, the very first concert I ever saw was Luther Vandross performing at the Erie Crown Theater, January 1984, my freshman year of high school. I'm dating myself here. Had loved the records, but then you got a chance to see that man live, and it was mind-blowing. Luther was one of the best voices we have ever had on this planet. And I think the older I got and the more that I grew as a singer and as a musician, I appreciated him more and more and more and more. People forget that even though he's made some classic cover tunes, you know, like Superstar and you know, Creep and all that kind of thing, the man also was himself a fantastic writer, fantastic arranger of vocals, you know, just incredible beauty in his music. And you know, losing Luther was like, we lost a gem right there. I don't necessarily think I sound like Luther Vandross, but definitely his approach has inspired me. Luther always said that for him it was about tone more so than a bunch of runs and all that kind of thing, and that definitely has inspired me, because I think as a singer I try to make sure that it's about the feeling, and the tone is kind of what really does the job. Just incredibly, you know, inspired by Luther Vandross and the great singers in his group, you know, Lisa Fisher and Cindy Mizell and Kevin Owens, and just some great singers he's had. You know, I've always been a lover of background vocals, and that was the pinnacle. Luther's background singers were absolutely stunningly great. That was a huge influence. Definitely another couple of major influences were, I think, the best of the vocal groups that we've had, you know, in the last 20-some years. Boyz II Men, top of the heap of the guys. In Vogue, the top of the heap of the girls. Incredible harmonies, great lead vocals from all the members. They were able to bring together hip hop and soul and R&B and make singing, you know, it made singing respected again. You know, they were able to be fly, but were really, you know, great singers, and you just could not be around there and be a singer and not be inspired by what In Vogue and Boyz II Men were doing. Just incredible. And, you know, in 1991 hit a brand new, you know, band on the R&B scene, Mint Condition. You know, we hadn't seen a lot of bands in urban music, you know, around that time. You know, not a lot of powerful new bands around that time. And here comes Mint Condition, and these guys are just killing. Incredible writers, great producers, great players. Stokely is a singer, like, I mean, just crazy. And you know, Stokely has just continued to grow as a vocalist over the years, and I've just grown to be such a fan of his voice. But man, Mint Condition is just awesome. Every one of their albums is just smacks you across the face with real music, real songs, real production, real instrumentation, great vocal arrangements. That kind of stuff, man, we're missing it a lot in urban music and R&B music. So I'm very thankful that Mint Condition is out there still doing their thing the way that they're doing it. Again, brand new album just came out this week. Music at the Speed of Life. Go get it. You won't regret it. Great stuff. So those are some of the people who, you know, inspired me, you know, as an artist in one way or another. Again, either as a singer, as a player, as a writer. I would say in particular as songwriters, you know, other than Prince and Luther, the great Stevie Wonder, of course. How can you not be inspired by Stevie Wonder? As a singer, as a pianist, a keyboard player, as a songwriter. Tina Marie, as a songwriter and a singer, just incredible. The way she could paint pictures with her words, just nuts, I say. Angela Winbush, one of the best voices I think we've ever experienced. Just a voice just out of this world. And besides being a fantastic singer, was also a fantastic songwriter and producer. So she's another one who's definitely colored my approach to writing. Babyface, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Hey, what can I say? Jam and Lewis, the top of the heap for me. There's just something about the way they wrote great melodies with great grooves. You just can't beat Jam and Lewis. Anybody who knows me well knows that Jam and Lewis are just it for me. And what can I say? Miss Janet Jackson. Now, I'm not a dancer, and you know, Janet is not a marathon kind of singer, but Janet's impact as an artist, I think, was so huge. You just can't resist that she has been somebody who came, you know, people wrote her off in the beginning, and then she proved to everybody that she was the real deal. And Janet is still here, you know, and doing her thing. I'm waiting for the next great album from Janet, because the last couple have been good, but not great. So I'm waiting for the next great Janet album. So anywho, I've been talking long enough. Time for me to get on off of here. But I thought I would just share a little bit about folks who have influenced me and inspired me to do what I do. All right, I'll talk to you again soon. Be on the lookout for new music and also new vocal training stuff that I'm working on for you as well. All right, laters. Bye.